Hi guys! So I've got a lot of people asking me how we make our flower cakes, and we have been trying to come up with time to give you guys classes and stuff, but since, time is short, we decided to just make you a live feed today. We have here a 6-inch round of chocolate fudge, and I'm just filling it with our chocolate ganache. So basically bake these 2 rounds individually and fill them with our ganache, and now I'm going to give them a crumb coat. So basically the crumb coat just locks in all the crumbs, and I will give this a second layer of icing too. And if it's still see-through, it might require a third one. So here we go. This offset, it's called? Yeah, offset spatula. And these can be used both ways. So it can be used frosted from here, and you can use it, from the front. So I'm just going to show you how to use it from the front. It's the same way. It just, for me personally, it gives me a little more control over the area I want to frost. Plus, it makes you have straight sides. So now we're just going to go ahead and frost the top. And two, I'm going to show you a little tip that we like to use to get very, very smooth top. Put it on top. So I won't be frosting the top anymore, which is why I just put enough so that I won't have to go back over again. I just give this a, just smear it all over, make it smooth enough so that there's no cake seeing through, and it's a pretty thick, pretty much your dollop all smeared. Take some butter paper or some wax paper, glaze paper, whatever you like to call it, whatever you can get your hands on, and just gently place it on top, smooth it over. I like to use a fondant smoother, just get a smooth finish. Now you can see my butter paper. I'm going to get a board. So we have our board. This is a pretty much basic plywood board, and I'm just going to set this on top. So as you can see, just press it down, and I'm going to take a leveler. So I just set it on top, and I just, turn it over, and you see this leveler here? It indicates whether the cake is leveled or not. Now you see this is a little tilted towards your right, yeah. So I'm just going to tilt the cake in the opposite direction so it comes in the middle, and you see I'm doing this all over the cake. So I'm just going to take this off. That comes a little fun, tricky part. I'm going to flip it over. So I'm just going to do this again for the bottom, and you see that it is perfectly level. Just going to smooth that out so we can smooth it out, I'll give it a double crumb coat. So I'm just going to pop this in the fridge or freezer for about 5 minutes until the buttercream hardens, and then we'll give it our second coat. Show you how to make a chrysanthemum, and I'm going to show you how to make a ranunculus. A ranunculus is basically, it's like a rose, but the petals inside are curved inwards toward the flower, as opposed to the rose, which are, curled outwards. Here we have a ranunculus piping bag, and inside, if you've seen, we have a curved rose tip. I have this curved tip, and you can use it for the making a ranunculus, basically. The edge and come back in, kind of like how you swirl a cupcake. But in the middle, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a small cone. Upside down, obviously. Okay. Excuse me. So, we have our hat type thing here. And what you're going to do is take your tip, and in the same way, just make sure the tip is making a smile and not a frown, because, you know, obviously we don't want that. So, I'm just going to start here. And I'm going to gently squeeze and pull up. So, now you've seen that, that trick we showed you. Now we're just going to take it off. Look at that. Oh, for the second coat, okay. So for the top again, remember when I said we wouldn't have to smooth it out? We're not smoothing this out. We are just actually just making the edges cleaner. So I'm just going to take my spatula, and some people like to go inward, some people like to go outward. So just take your spatula and I think. Okay. So there you have it. See, now I'm going to go in towards me. Get a little more smooth. Okay. I've already shown you the ranunculus and the chrysanthemum. So here we have a few sunflowers. This one's a little messed up, poor guy, but the rest I think are fine. And then we have our blossoms, and this is our rose. And I think we got another one. Here's our other rose. So as you can see, you can use pretty much whatever color you want. We basically like to use a Mary color, but in the market, we have, where is it? Okay. So this is Wilton. This is your first best friend when you are, new to baking, and it was my best friend for about a year, and then we kind of fell apart. But the basic difference between these two is this one's very concentrated, so it would take about 2 drops as opposed to like 6 of these, and and the color is incomparable. Incomparable. You can't compare it. So anyways, we like to use a Mary color, but as opposed to a few years ago when there was nothing available in the market, obviously this was, the best choice. But if you can get your hands on a Mary color, there's nothing better than it. Other than that, there is, I think, Chef Master. Hannah? Yeah, we have Chef Master. They're pretty concentrated too. So after Mary color, that's my go-to color. Then we have powdered colors, which I really wouldn't recommend. But if you're using buttercream and if you need like pastel colors and then you have powdered color like on hand, just mix it in a little bit of milk, I guess, and just pour it into like drop by drop, obviously, into your buttercream.
You also have desi colors.
Desi colors?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, liquid colors. Don't use these. They're awful. Like, they suck really bad. You don't want these. As you can see, I still have bottles, and I don't know why, I just keep them, just, I really don't know why. But anyways, don't use them. So you have your gel color, Mary color, then you have Wilton. Yes, big yes, if you have to. And if I don't have Chef Master, because we don't really use Chef Master, we're more Mary color people. But yeah, as you can see, this is our color collection. We have, these are sheen colors. They're actually pretty great. They're used with, we'll show you next time we have like an airbrush cake. But this is basically used to, spray onto your cake. And the best part is it can be used on fondant or buttercream or whipped cream. So, we pretty much love these too. Okay, so our cake is pretty much almost done. I just need to give it one final coat. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay. And I'm just basically going to try to coat the places where the cake is showing through. And I'm just going to, spread that around so that I don't get too much excess buttercream. Because like I said, there are some people who don't like a lot of buttercream. Oh, and there are a few people who asked me how to get smooth sides on the smooth finishes on the side of your cake. There's a few techniques for that. I just like to use my hand, but there are some days when buttercream really doesn't want to be my friend, and then I have to bring the big guns out. And what we basically do is I boil a pot of water, and I make it obviously really hot. And I take my spatula and I basically dip it in the water. And by doing so, you basically make the knife hot. And then you put it, take it around the cake basically. And it just basically smooths out your entire surface. But you have to be quick, because if you're not quick, it's going to melt the side of your surface. So be very careful about that, because I've melted cakes and it's not nice. So, okay. So that's pretty much it. I think we've got it. Just going to take one last. And obviously you don't have to be like super perfect about it, because as my husband tells me, people aren't going to, look at the cake this closely, but I just can't help myself. If I see like a flaw, I have to fix it. So here we have it. I think that's pretty much good enough. Okay, so I'm going to smooth the top out one more time, just to give it a nice edge. And as you can see, it's coming together perfectly. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you.
You have a question?
Yes.
Which vanilla extract you prefer in buttercream? Vanilla beans or the local one that is already available? Hunza Kaisar, she...
Okay. Hey Hunza. So, we don't have vanilla bean readily available. And Yeah, if you have it, great, you can use it. If not, you can use local, but I personally don't like it. Once you start using, the nicer kind of vanilla, the pure vanilla extract, you wouldn't really like this. Yeah, I mean, if you're new to baking and stuff, go ahead, use a local one. It's really not, to you, it's not going to make a difference, but as gradually as you start using and baking, you'll get the idea, and you'll get you get the hang of basically what ingredients to use and what not to use. When we first started out, we used some pretty crappy ingredients too. So, and
You'll do a feed on different essences, vanillas, and
we'll definitely do that. And yeah. So back to the cake. I wanted to show you. See, there's a little I don't know what you call this, but there's a little vat there. And I just wanted to show you how you fix it because it is fixable. So just take a little bit of buttercream on your knife and just put it over. Just gonna go over the place and okay, just go over and see, that's done. So I'm just going to smooth this out over the top and it's gone. So I'm just going to show you how to cover your cake. Okay, so now to put flowers on your cake. This is a really fun part. It's my favorite part actually. And I just wanted to share with you guys, when I first started making flowers, I used to take them off directly of the paper, and I just used to stick them on the cake. Now what that used to do was it just gave it a really flat look. Like it was like, I'm like the flower would just say, I'm flying here, come and take me, It didn't look nice. And I used to see pictures of the flowers used to pop out and look really attractive. So I put on my thinking cap and I did a little YouTubing and discovered the secret. And it's actually pretty easy. You're gonna be like, what? Really? Okay, so just take a piping bag, obviously scissor, cut a little bit on the top right there, and I'm just going to fill this up with a little buttercream. And what that does is, we're just going to create a little mount for our flowers, and yeah. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay. We're just going to take our first flower, and let's say we want our chrysanthemum. Okay, so I'm just going to, decide where I want to place the cake. Okay, so I'm just, this is where I want to place it. I'm just going to take a little dollop, and I'm just going to, see, it peels right off. So just going to stick that on. And now I'm going to keep on going for all the flowers. And there's really no hard and fast rule about where to place your flowers or how to place your flowers. It's just on matter of, how you want them or where you want them. There's just really no rule. So here we have our ranunculus. And I think I will place a rose here. Red eye pink. Okay. Go around. And a red flower. I like red too. Not as much as pink, but I still like it. Yeah. Okay. So here comes our sunflower. Oh, I wanted to show you. Make sure when you place your flowers, you leave a little bit of room and space between them. You'll see why in a minute, but make sure you just do that because you won't be able to, go back and undo it. The spaces, that is. So, okay. I think I will place a chrysanthemum. small one. Yeah. So we got that. And the small red rose we'll do here. Right there. And we have some blossoms. I think that we need to one more ranunculus, and then we can place our blossoms. I personally like placing the blossoms last, mainly because they're small and it's just a good filler for where you want to, you know. So let's use our blossom.
Somebody's asking, do you have to keep the flower dough for a while, or you can use them right away? It's not dough.
Like, dough? Oh, like the fondant? No, these are buttercream flowers. If you go back after the live feed ends, you can see how we actually make the flowers. We just take the buttercream, color it, pipe it out, and then we cool it. The cooled flowers work wonders. As you can see, these are all cooled, and I don't need to, do anything to them. As you can see, just peel them off, and I just set them right on. Yeah. So, just going to place 2 more. Here we go. I think we need a small flower there. I just don't know which one.
At least put another sunflower.
I think I'll put a sunflower here.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're at home and you're new to this, please don't do what I'm about to do, because it could ruin your flowers. But if you're not new to this, go right ahead. Okay, so I just saw that I'm missing a second sunflower, and I removed the ranunculus just so that I could place my sunflower right there. I think that's good enough. Right? Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. And I think we can place one more.
Pink rose.
Pink rose? No, we'll put it too big. So, is okay. Alright. So, place. I think we can place pink rose. I guess you were right. Haha. Well, we have a pink rose here. I'm very finicky about my color placements. Yeah. So. Here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, no.
It needs to come like that. I guess that's fine. Let's just place our leaves and then we'll just work it out. Okay, so for my leaves, I already have a little bit of green buttercream. I'm just gonna add some white to it so that I can make it a lighter green color. Just take a rubber spatula and just go around it. Should be fine. Right. So I have a nice green pastel-y color, which is nice enough for leaves. And the same way, we will take our piping bag, cut off the tip, and there's a few leaf tips in the market which you can use. Okay, it's basically a V. I don't know if you can see it. It's a V shaped. Okay, there you go. Or it's like a bird beak, Like I said, there's yellow in there because we made our sunflowers with it, and yeah. So gonna go ahead and put in our green buttercream. And at first, when you squeeze out, it's going to show yellow, and that's okay because now we have green. Okay, so like I said, remember the small openings I was talking about? Well, now you're gonna go in there and squeeze out your leaves, because yeah, so we're just going to, and like I said, leaves can be a very good filler. So if you have some spaces which, you know, require some fillings, like I did here, you can just go ahead and use those and life will be good. Let's go ahead around your cake, and if you see any spaces which might need, you know, a leaf or two, don't hesitate, just pipe it up, or on, sorry. Okay, I guess that's good enough, yeah. Alright, so, wait, one more. There. So that, and smooth this, and there you go. Okay, so this is, you know, a string of pearls, and we're just going to put it along the border. And as you can see, I have a few excess, actually not a few, quite a lot, excess pearls, and you just saw a few of them fall off. That's it. So I just like to, you know, take them out in here, and as you can see, we already have a few others. What we basically do is take the ends of the string, and we give it a double knot. The excess string, just take a scissor and snip off the excess. And there you have it. Our floral wreath cake.